In this video, I'm traveling to a military-run country in Southeast Asia. In 2021, Myanmar underwent a military coup, and the military's been running things ever since.
Myanmar's military staged a coup, setting up checkpoints, taking over TV stations, and detaining civilian officials, including their leader, Aung San Suu Kyi.
The country became unstable. Chaos ensued, and tourism plummeted.
At least 18 people reportedly killed. The bloodiest day since the coup a month ago.
In fact, the U.S. lists Myanmar as a level 4 destination, advising travelers to do not travel. But today, I'm going there.
မင်္ဂလာပါဒီတစ်ခါမှာတော့ Most Best Ever Food Review Show Channel ကတင်ဆက်ထားတဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံကမြန်မာအစားအသောက်တွေအကြောင်းဗီဒီယိုကိုဘာသာပြန်တင်ဆက်ပေးမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။သူတို့ကမြန်မာနိုင်ငံကိုအခုချိန်ဟာတတိယအကြိမ်ရောက်ရှိခြင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်။ပထမအကြိမ်က2019မှာလာခဲ့တာဖြစ်ပြီးတော့ဒုတိယအကြိမ်ကတော့2025မှာပါ။ဒုတိယအကြိမ်တုန်းကတော့အရေးပေါ်ကျန်းမာရေးအခြေအနေကြောင့်ဆေးရုံတက်ခွဲစိတ်ပြီးတော့ပြန်သွားရပါတယ်။အဲ့ဒီဗီဒီယိုလည်းကျွန်တော် channel မှာဘာသာပြန်တင်ဆက်ထားပြီးဖြစ်ပါတယ်။ပထမအကြိမ်လာတော့ကဗီဒီယိုတွေကတော့တချို့တစ်ဝက်ဘာသာပြန်ပြီးကျန်းနေသေးတာတွေလည်းရှိပါတယ်။အခုတတိယအကြိမ်ကတော့3ပုတ်တင်ထားတာတွေ့ရပါတယ်။အခုပထမဆုံးဗီဒီယိုကိုဘာသာပြန်တင်ဆက်ပေးလိုက်ပါတယ်။ဒီဗီဒီယိုကိုကြိုက်နေတဲ့ဆိုရင်သူ့ channel ကိုလည်းတွားရောက်အားပေးပြီး subscribe လုပ်ပေးကြပါအောင်လို့တိုက်တွန်းပါတယ်။ channel မျိုးဗီဒီယိုထဲမှာစာတန်းထိုးထားသလို description ထဲမှာလည်း link ထည့်ထားပါတယ်။ဗီဒီယိုကိုအဆုံးထိကြည့်ရှုပေးပါဦးခင်ဗျာ
Bye bye. Myanmar is a country with amazing food and culture. Last time I was there, it was under a democratic government.
So what happened? For years, Myanmar had been slowly transitioning toward democracy, with Aung San Suu Kyi's NLD party becoming dominant. In November of 2020, the NLD won a landslide election, but the military rejected the results, claiming massive fraud. On February 1st, 2021, the military launched a coup, detaining Aung San Suu Kyi and the elected government. Then they seized power. Since then, it's been over 5 years. I want to see what the situation is really like on the ground, and if tourists are still visiting Myanmar after all that's happened.
Welcome to Myanmar.
Time to find out.
It's almost 2 a.m. and I've just gotten to my room, but take a look at this place. So you get all this when you come to Yangon, Myanmar for only $105 a night, which is an incredible value. Now, if you're sharp, you may recognize that this is the same hotel I stayed in last time. Yes, I came to Myanmar just 3 or 4 months ago, but I only went to 3 places: the airport, this hotel, and the hospital where they removed my appendix.
I just got out of surgery. I feel like it hurt so bad. Oh.
Now I am back for the trip I initially planned to do. Tomorrow we are going out into public. We're going to be using the camera. We're going to be documenting real life here in a country that's just been turned upside down in the last few years. But in the meantime, I'm going to get some sleep. Good morning from Myanmar. It is the nice day. So this morning is going to be my first time actually going out into the city and seeing what it's like to document a video here, even though the country is under a really strict state of control. Is it going to go well? Don't shoot. Is no one going to care? Am I going to be told to stop shooting, or worse? Let's go find out. For our first experience here in military-run Myanmar, we have come to Shwe Dagon. This is a beautiful temple. It's big, it's majestic, it's amazing. Before we go in, I want to give you a little bit more context about what's going on in this country. In 2021, there was a military coup and the military took over everything. But recently, there was an election and they elected a president.
The ruling military junta claims the process marks the return of democracy, but opponents say the poll is an attempt by the army to try and win legitimacy on the global stage.
But here's the thing, the same guy who initiated that coup, he's the same person who was elected. So either this guy has to write. Hi, how you doing? All right, about to say things people shouldn't hear. Hold on, 1 second. So either this guy should write a book on leadership or a book on how to rig an election. I think it's the second one. That said, there are still new strict laws, rules, and curfews taking place throughout the country, and there's still a civil war happening here too. So all of this has led to the USA designating this as a level 4 do not travel country. And that means that the tourism here has just been obliterated.
Tourism in Myanmar reached over 4.3 million visitors in 2019, but by 2025, that number fell to just under 1 million, mostly coming from China, Thailand, and South Korea.
Now, as you can see, I'm here. It's possible to come here. Actually, it just was as easy as filling out a visa, flying here, and walking through. But I think most people are scared about the possible outcomes of visiting a place like this. Right now, I'm in one of the city's biggest tourist sites. My mission while we're here at this location is to look around and see if we can find any foreigners. And if we can, I want to ask them what made them brave enough to come here to Myanmar.
So far, this Myanmar trip is going well. But last time I was here, things got bad fast.
A few months ago, I had a medical emergency mid-shoot in the country of Myanmar. I had to get an emergency surgery in a country I was barely familiar with. What that experience taught me is that when things go sideways on the road, you need one thing more than anything else: to be reachable. When you're that far from home, your phone isn't a convenience, it's everything. That's why Olafly's new always-on benefit is so important. You still get the unlimited data eSIM for the destination you're traveling to. But now as an Olafly customer, you also receive the always-on benefit every month. Once you install your Olafly eSIM, you automatically get 1 gigabyte of backup data every single month, already active before you land. No top-up, no action needed across 70 plus destinations. It's the kind of thing that exists so when something goes wrong, and something always goes wrong, you're not left scrambling. Olafly's new always-on feature is now available for all customers. Use code SUNNY at eSIM.olafly.com or at checkout on their app for 5% off any eSIM and 10% off their global subscription plans. QR code on top, link down in the description. Now, back to the show. Since we're in one of the holiest places in the country, no shoes allowed. I feel like my bare feet is much more sacrilegious than me with shoes on. Behind me, we're about to go through security, which may be an issue because I have this, a mic box. So it's time to put Myanmar to the test. Is this going to be a big deal or not? So we just went through security, not a problem. The alarm went off and they said, yes, go ahead. We don't care. Here's what's funny about cultures is you can change the leadership, but these are the same people I remember. We are inside the pagoda now, and this place is stunning. It's beautiful, and it's sad that there's so many outsiders, people from foreign lands who feel like they can't come here. What's unusual to me is that in coming here, I expected to see people more scared, hiding, but this place is full of domestic tourists. Now, that is not to say that there are no issues here, but if you were plopped down here and never knew anything about the news, you wouldn't think that there was anything going on here. Hey, film this so people know I'm such a good person. No, don't film this, man. It's just my personal thing. So we have walked all around the pagoda. This is the biggest pagoda in Yangon, and no tourists. I saw thousands of people and not one person that stands out from the rest. Everyone here is Burmese. I'm not giving up. We're gonna go somewhere else now, somewhere where we can get closer to locals and try some food. We have come to General Aung San, a giant market where they sell absolutely everything. And here we have a new mission. From this point in the video, we're gonna experience life in Yangon at 3 different socioeconomic levels. Right now we're starting in the market, a place that's very affordable and a place where most people in the country can afford to get food. From here, we're gonna go to more of a casual dining location and then a more expensive location within the city, a place that few could afford. The goal is to kind of witness life in Yangon at every level. But my goal here at this market specifically is to connect with the local people, see how people react to shooting, which so far seems like not a big issue, and try some food. Welcome to the snack section. Now, here's what I love about snacks in Myanmar is that it feels like any other Southeast Asian food, but when you look more closely, the food is something like you've never seen before. Right here, we have a local nut or a seed. It starts with this, but then they boil it, it becomes like this, and finally, they pound it. Right here, she has her mallet. She pounds this nut or seed into a little bit of a pancake, and from here, she fills it up. All of these are already soaking in an oil, and then she puts this kind of coconut paste on the inside. Right here, we have the final product. Let's try out our first food here in Myanmar. I'm gonna try to take this in one bite, fold it over. It's shining, it is so greasy. Wow, how does a nut get like that? The texture of the pancake, it's incredibly dense. Beyond that, inside it is a coconut oil. It's very potent, it's very flavorful, and it's so rich. I can see why people love that. So she says, now that I've tried this oily dish, I need to try something else to balance it out. Right here, she's taking some pounded sticky rice and using the scissors to cut it up. You can see embedded on the top, it looks like there is some black sesame seeds. That is our base. So here she puts on some shredded coconut and she tops it with some palm syrup. Thank you. This is gorgeous and huge. I want to try just this alone. It is so sticky. Oh, there we go. So let's give it a shot. That palm sugar, it's kind of like a liquefied brown sugar. Very sweet, but a little bit earthy. Then right here, I want to get this bite with all this coconut on top. You cannot get a coconut experience this fresh in the USA. As people are ordering, she continues to refresh and restock her ingredients. She has half a coconut and she's using this tool to create some shredded coconut. Boom. Done. She dumps it out and that's ready for the next customer. Moving on to the next food. Right here we have our second snack food. This is what I call a stuffed tofu pocket. Right now she's about to assemble one from scratch. It all starts with tofu that is very thin that she splits open with her fingers. The first thing she puts in is salt. Right here we have some lime pulp, then some sliced chilies, a little bit of fish sauce, some cabbage. This is a combination of sugar and peanuts. And finally, I'm told this is kind of like a shallot jam. Let me give just that a try. Oh. Actually, after tasting it, that's not onion at all. That is garlic. A lady has just come to fan me. This is incredible service. Thank you. That said, let's give it a shot. Oh, wow. I'm in love. No, I'm not the biggest tofu fan in the world, but that is a nice vessel to carry all of these ingredients. Beyond that, it turns out the first thing she put on there, it wasn't salt, it was MSG. MSG is like salt on steroids. Right here, another delicious bite. The cabbage just gives it some body, the chilies give it some heat, the fish sauce makes it extra savory. It's pretty incredible. A good start, let's keep moving. What's sad about walking through here is that you see so many trinkets, paintings, stuff for tourists to buy and take away and bring home, but there's one problem. No tourism. So I don't know how these people are holding on, but God bless them. I think this is like a restaurant storefront right here. If I'm not mistaken, it seems like you could order through this window and perhaps this is someone's meal right here. Like a pie waiting on a windowsill to cool down. Looks nice. Ooh, I stumbled upon something. Pun.
Actually, the correct term in Myanmar is kunyar, a type of chewing tobacco, usually made with betel leaf, a hit of slaked lime, tobacco, and this. But, I'm not sure what that is.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm told this is meant to be chewed on and then spit out. What is that middle hard part? That'd be on the Oh no, I'm gonna get high. Oh no, I'm feeling it. I gotta spit it out before I get high. Thank you so much for that experience. Oh, you know what? Double it, give it to the next one. Thank you.
So far, locals are surprisingly comfortable being on camera, with a handful even asking for pictures. Still, I haven't been able to find a single tourist. Then this woman walked by, a British lady who's lived in Myanmar since before the coup.
I'm kind of just exploring how the tourism has dropped a lot, especially because the U.S. has designated this a level 4 travel advisory. The U.S. says do not travel. Do you see tourists here much at all?
Not really. Maybe business tourism is here.
Just from your perspective, are people from the outside overreacting? Are they misinformed? Like they're just seeing one side of the story?
I don't think they're overreacting. It's just because it depends where you are in the country, so you have to be super aware.
Where would you not go?
Wherever they told me not to go.
So you do have to be thoughtful about where you go.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Fair enough. Thank you so much.
This is one outsider's perspective, and soon I'll share my own. But first, I need to find something to eat.
Hello.
I done.
Oh, looking for food.
I'm looking for food.
Yeah, food is there, other side.
That side.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Can you believe that guy? Trying to trick me? Keep me away from the real good food? Aha! I knew it! We just found a restaurant here in the middle of nowhere. Right here, there's literal mountains of food. We have shredded papaya. Right here, we have some fritters, shrimp fritters, but I've never seen fritters quite like this. Many of them have a shrimp kind of fried or baked into it. This is like how my wife and I are oriented on the bed usually. This is me, and then this is my wife, and then this is just no man's land. Moving on. Right here, you can see clearly, this is a bean sprout that they've kind of battered and fried. What I'm told is people don't actually usually eat it like this. This gets cut into a salad with more ingredients. But I do want to take a bite into this side of the bed. Always trust the locals. Don't do what I just did. Virtually flavorless, stale, old, greasy. Not pleasant. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. I want to see what this is usually actually made into. Step one, she goes to the side where she has some shredded cucumber. Ugh. From here, she takes the shrimp off of the fritter, and then she uses the scissors to cut the fritter into smaller, more manageable pieces. Well, you can see even with that scissors, it's tough to get through it. Boom. Now, the shrimp, she cuts the head off, and then the rest of the body gets cut into thin little pieces. From here, she puts in MSG, some prawn salt, then we have a bean flour, some chilies go in next, then she puts in a combination of oil and garlic. Finally, fish sauce goes in, along with tamarind sauce. From here, she gives it a bit of a mix. Finally, she puts it on a plate and then just tries to completely obstruct my view. And that is how you make a fried Burmese prawn salad. I was worried about the cucumber at first, except for the dish swallowed up the soul of the cucumber. Everything is just kind of a dark shade of orangey red. Time to give it a shot. Can I tell you my honest first impression? That's not my favorite thing ever. It tastes stale and old. The fried sections of bean sprout, they taste like they were fried yesterday. The shrimp is very hard. Everything else though, not blowing my moccasins off, I'll tell you that. Luckily, I've not broken the bank with this dish as it only costs $7,000 in the local currency. So right now we've been in the market for a couple of hours, and I can say how I feel now when I came to Yangon is how I felt years ago when I came here. Like the people, the interactions, everything feels pretty similar, and I thought it was gonna be drastically different. People are happy that I'm here. When I'm shooting, nobody seems to mind, but they do care if you talk about one topic in particular. I met a local a moment ago. I won't show his face, but I was asking him, was there way more foreigners and tourists like in 2019?
Not really.
No.
You know, it's some kind of, the topics that I can't talk about.
Unclear? Seems like the same?
Yeah, I guess.
So it was clear and obvious that he didn't want to be seen on camera talking about that. As far as I can tell, in Yangon, life is moving forward except for you can't talk about the thing. But this is just one city, and Myanmar is a big country, and there's a lot of different ethnic groups, regions, and local tensions that are happening elsewhere. For me as a tourist who just wanted to come here, it seems like the coast is clear for now. From the very affordable market food, we have come here to a mid-price restaurant, a place known as Traditional Myanmar Food House. Here we're going to be trying an iconic and traditional food of Myanmar, the tea leaf salad. It's a salad, but it's made with tea leaves. Welcome to the salad station. The most important part of this dish would be the tea leaves. Right here we have, I would say, over 5 pounds of tea leaves. This is like 10 tea leaf bushes all condensed down into this right here. Beyond that, there's another key ingredient. So I'm told locally they're called Indian beans, but there's also a combination of peanuts and toasted sesame seeds too. Now, those items are already right here on this plate, and in a moment, she's gonna take this, mix it with some other flavors, and make a classic Burmese tea leaf salad. Let's get to it. All of that is gonna head into this bowl. From there, cabbage joints, then tomato. From here, some fish sauce. Now it's time for some MSG and some bean oil. Next, she hits it with some lemon, and then gives all of that a mix. Once it's done, she literally grabs a fistful of salad and puts it onto this small saucer here. Next, some garlic and some chilies goes on too. And that is how you make a Burmese tea leaf salad. Here we have come to a pure flavor station. Let's take a look at what they got here. This is a dry looking fish curry with a ton of chilies. Beyond that, they have some chicken over here. Here they have some fried pork. And then my favorite over here, this is a deer meat curry. I didn't even know people were eating deer here in this country of Myanmar. So from here, I'm gonna select my curry, sit down and try it out. For everything you see here, the total price is about $11.19. Not expensive, but certainly not as cheap as food you could find in the market we were just at. Before we try this out, I want to talk a little bit more about the restaurant. When you come here, you can definitely see the people eating here are from a different slice of society. These are people who have more funds to go out and have a good time. Beyond that, the restaurant style itself is interesting. All the food is pre-made. You order it, you say what you want, they scoop it up, and it's at your table within minutes. Another thing that makes it stand out from the market is that people here eat with gloves. Now, I've gone with deer because I've never had deer in my curry. This is a rich, oily curry. It's just pure oil dripping out of here. Let's give it a shot. That is incredible. It tastes like it's been roasted or grazing for a long time. So the meat has broken down just like a roast. Wow, this thing is just absolutely loaded with spices. Deer curry, 10 out of 10, amazing. But then we have this. I got raw garlic. I've got some cabbage in there for body. I've got some chilies to add a little bit of heat. That's a nice looking bite. It's a little bit sour, and I wonder if that is from the tea leaves. But beyond that, this thing is full of flavor in general. You've got fish sauce, you've got citrus, you've got the seasonings of the gods, MSG. But then there's the texture. These fried beans, even though they've been sitting in this wet salad now for 20 minutes, they're still crunchy as heck. So good. So this is our second location, and we still have one more very expensive location coming up. But first, there's something I want to talk about, something that I can't talk about too loudly, and that is the conditions on the ground here in Myanmar. Now, if you watch this video so far, you might get the impression that everything here is kind of hunky-dory, it's fine, the people are happy, and on the surface, that seems to be true. But there's something going on here that people call a quiet struggle. It's uncertainty and pressures around things like inflation, the cost of fuel. I mean, just weeks ago, there were people or lines at the gas stations that would take hours and hours in order for people to be able to fill up their vehicles.
It's not just a waiting game. For some, it's a matter of luck. In cities like Yangon, motorists can queue up to 6 hours just to get fuel.
And then I heard a story a moment ago that absolutely horrified me. You see, a couple months ago, there was a curfew here in Yangon. People couldn't go out past 6 or 7 p.m. Now that curfew has been lifted, but restaurants are still closing pretty early. Why is that? Well, I've been told by locals that that's because people are afraid of potentially being kidnapped. That the government has gone out, they've found young people around the age of 20, 21, 22, 23. They kidnap them and they bring them to go fighting in this country's civil war. So this is really a two-faced city at this moment. And so that's something I try to keep in mind during this video. And while I'm here is that what you see here is just one side of the story. That said, let's head to our final and most expensive location. Behind me, a place known as Burma Bistro. Inside, they're making what they call casual dining, but I think they're acting humble. Soon I'm going to reveal the prices, and let me tell you, you're going to be shocked, but not for the reason you think. Let's go inside. Right now we are in the kitchen. We're about to see how they make their classic Burmese-style fried rice. Let's get to it. Take it away. Okay, action. Go. Step 1, walk away and ask the head chef what to do. It all starts with a very hot wok that he just put some oil into. Right here we have a tomato paste. He doesn't even try to dodge the flames. He's hoping they consume him. Boom. Next, the rice plops in. I've never seen a stir-fried rice that starts with tomato paste. From here, we have a in-house soy-based sauce. A little bit of oyster sauce, chicken powder. This right here is just pure chicken powder. From here, the chef looks at me. I look back, confused, uncertain. What shall I do? What are we looking for? But you gotta use your words, my man. Somebody is coming through. We need to plate this sucker. He takes a bamboo. He puts the rice inside. He plates it, but we're not done yet. I know because he walked away from me just now. Then we wash dishes. So right here we have our rice, but that is just our base. Soon we're gonna be crowning it with this, a pork skewer cooking in the convection oven. Cook faster. Time has passed and we're ready to wrap this puppy up. The oven has been opened. He uses tongs to remove this that is going to go on top of our fried rice, but that's not all. Moments ago, these mushrooms were also in the convection oven. Here's proof. Right here we have a combination of carrots, onions, other vegetables, coriander, stuff, and that is how you make Burma Bistro's signature fried rice. This right here is our final and most expensive meal of the day, and you can see this is a pretty big upgrade from that shrimp salad. That was rough. So right here we have a ginger salad plated beautifully in a banana blossom.
First, ginger, shredded green and purple cabbage, thinly sliced red and green tomatoes, carrots, shallots, and white seaweed all dive into a mixing bowl. Next, some fried beans add a bit of crunch. Now for the flavor. Roasted bean powder, fish sauce, lime juice, and some vegetable oil to bind it all together. All of the ingredients are thoroughly mixed before being placed on a banana blossom leaf, served alongside crispy tofu and raw flavor enhancers like chilies, garlic, and fresh lime.
The salad looks extremely fresh, super fragrant, and full of vegetation. Behind it, we have this, a tofu cracker. Let's give it a shot. That was a tough bite. I couldn't get a clean break from it. The tofu cracker is a little bit stale. It's not as crumbly as a cracker would usually be. That said, the actual salad itself is amazing. It's super delicious, umami, fresh. The most surprising part about it is that it's just completely soaked in oil. But you know what? The oil, it's a nice touch. That said, this is a ginger salad. I barely taste the ginger. Moving on to our final food. This is this restaurant's take on Burmese-style fried rice. This seems to basically just be tomato paste and a few other flavors tossed in, and that's it. Does it taste like typical fried rice? Is it gonna have wok hei? Let's find out. It definitely has that wok hei flavor, but that said, there's not a lot of texture, there's not a lot of vegetables, there's not a lot going on, and it doesn't taste overly tomatoey. Pretty surprising, something I've never had before. But of course, the fried rice is not meant to be eaten alone, and that's why we have this right here, a pork skewer. I'm gonna attempt to slide it off of the skewer and keep it intact. Boom, victorious. Ooh, yeah. This is definitely a more lean part of the pig. All right, let's give it a shot. The marinade is wonderful. It's very spicy, but the pork itself a bit on the dry side. And that's because they're using this cut of meat that just really doesn't have much fat. Definitely if I had to pick a favorite between the two, this right here is my absolute favorite, which even surprises me. But what's more remarkable than me enjoying a salad is the price here. If you add everything up that's on the table right now, the total comes to about $16.50. This is one of the more expensive places you could go to in this town, yet 2 meals together is $16.50. That would be like a dream where I'm from. Even though this is inexpensive to me as an outsider, here in this city, this is a pretty expensive restaurant. It's the type of place people might come to maybe once a month. Food-wise, it's been interesting to see how much the quality changes when you go from food that costs about $1 to something that costs about 15 times that. A $1 food is something you're gonna find on the streets. You're gonna be sitting on a low-slung stool, you're gonna be in the heat, and you're gonna be sweating a lot from your neck for some reason. Meanwhile, places like this, I've got air conditioning, I've got great service, and I got food that is Instagrammable. In the restaurant, I couldn't exactly speak freely about what I wanted to say about Myanmar. And actually, in doing a video like this, I have to be careful to not implicate any local people. I talked to several people today, and off camera, they'll be honest with you about what's going on. But on camera, somebody speaking badly about the current government situation could get in serious trouble. So I set out today to try to understand what it's like living in a country that's run by the military. And in the end, it's a mixed bag. In some ways, it seems better than I thought. That said, I think a lot of the struggle, pain, and difficulties people are going through are not so obvious on the surface. That said, this is still just our first day here, and I have a lot more to learn about this country. The next question is, would I suggest someone travel here? There's this dark or morbid idea that when a country has a conflict, has a terrorist attack, that's the best time to go. The weird upside for foreigners is that it's actually pretty easy to come here, but beyond that, it's insanely affordable. So one perspective might be, hey, here you can come and get really nice hotels for $100 a night, and you can eat like a king. Meanwhile, there are no tourist traps because there are no tourists. So I'm not saying come here to take advantage of the situation people are in, but come here to support the people who need that support. But do not come here if safety is your highest priority. This is not the most safe travel destination, but it is certainly a unique one. And here, you're definitely gonna have a story to tell once you leave. In this video, I'll attempt to spend $100 on street food here in Myanmar. If you look at a map of Southeast Asia, you'll find Vietnam, then Thailand here, 2 iconic food countries. But right next door is Myanmar, a nation too often defined by conflict and uncertainty. And because of that, most outsiders will never get a chance to experience the food here. There are a lot of fun treats like this in Southeast Asia made with rice flour batter, but I've never seen a pancake of this magnitude. But today, that changes. So far, this is an impressive amount of protein for street food.
မင်္ဂလာပါဒီတစ်ခါမှာတော့ Mopes Ever Food Review Show Channel ကတင်ဆက်ထားတဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံခီးမြန်မာအစားအသောက်ကြောင်းဗီဒီယိုကိုဘာသာပြန်တင်ဆက်ပေးမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီဗီဒီယိုထဲမှာတော့ဒေါ်လာ100နဲ့မြန်မာလမ်းဘေးမုန့်တွေကိုလိုက်လံစားတော့တာမြင်တွေ့ရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။အကောင်းဆုံးတွေကိုရွေးပြီးစားရတော့မှနောက်ဆုံးမှာသူတို့အတွက်အံ့ဩဖွယ်ရာတွေကိုမြင်တွေ့ရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။ဒီဗီဒီယိုကြိုက်နေတဲ့ဆိုရင်သူ့ channel ကိုလည်းတွားရောက်အားပေးပြီး subscribe လုပ်ပေးကြပါအောင်လို့တိုက်တွန်းပါတယ်။ channel မျိုးဗီဒီယိုထဲမှာစရန်ထိုးထားသလို decoration ထဲမှာလည်း link ထည့်ထားပါတယ်။ဗီဒီယိုကိုအဆုံးထိကြည့်ရှုပေးပါဦးခင်ဗျာ။
Right now, I'm in the old capital, Yangon, a city of 6 million people with an incredible food culture. This is essentially Burmese fruit by the foot. Time to find out what separates Burmese food from the rest of Southeast Asia. Let's move. This morning, I'm starting with what is potentially the most dangerous food of the day. I'm talking sidewalk seafood. Do you see any refrigerators? Neither do I. Here I'm going to be eating a seafood salad that comes from the Rakhine region of Myanmar, a place known for being extremely spicy. So I have 2 things to contend with today: seafood and spice. Anytime you're eating seafood on the sidewalk, you're taking your life into your own hands. Most will avoid it, but I say those people don't know how to live, and they definitely don't know how to die. Let's go eat. Today we're going to be starting with a seafood salad. It has a ton of ingredients. Let's just get into it. It all starts with this bowl, which currently contains onions. From here, she takes some squid and starts cutting it with scissors. From here, she searches for her next seafood victim. All this has just recently been boiled and been put in trays that are covered with ice, like you see here. She's just cut in now some pieces of octopus with nice long tentacles. This is the whole kitchen. From here to here, it is some tight quarters, but she makes it work. Now we have smaller squids. From here, these are snails that have already been removed from the shell. She grabs a bunch of them and gives them a bit of a squeeze. Our next ingredient right here, can you guess, folks? That is jellyfish. The jellyfish is also cut up into tiny little pieces. This is another type of snail. So far, this is an impressive amount of protein for street food. Right here, we have some shrimp salt. Ooh, this one is a fermented, stinky fish sauce full of chilies, garlic, and lots of fish parts too. That is gonna bring us a lot of flavor. Then here we have tamarind. Next, MSG, another type of fish sauce, a little bit of pepper, a lot of pepper, and then she squeezes some lime on top. Right here we've got some coriander. Right here we have the local paparazzi. The lime leaf gets scissored in next. Right here we've got some prawns. Now she gives it a little bit of a mix, bringing all those flavors together. At last, it is time to put the salad on the plate. Couple limes for garnish. On the side, some cucumber for decoration, not for consumption. And that is how you make a street side seafood salad. Boom! Welcome to our first meal in our Burmese $100 street food challenge. Right here we have seafood, and right here we have feet food. It's a chicken foot salad. When you come to a country like Myanmar, it'll make you completely question what even a salad is. But I advise to not think too hard about it. In a moment, I'm gonna reveal the price of these two salads. The price is gonna shock you. But first, seafood. I love the array of seafood you will find in here. There is so much to experience, from squid and octopus to snail, shrimp, and even jellyfish. Let's give it a shot. When it comes to the jellyfish, it has absolutely no flavor. It's all about the texture. But here, she's put so many spices and seasonings on top of the salad that it's soaked every crevice of that jellyfish. So immediately I'm getting hits of citrus and fish sauce and some heat. The jellyfish itself, it's very crunchy, as my friend Oro would say. Crunchy. Here we got some nice suction cups. This is incredible. It is bright. It is flavorful. It is the opposite of bland. Before moving on to our chicken feet, I want to find one more, a green snail. Pleasant. More or less all the seafoods taste the same, but it's all about the texture. The jellyfish is crunchy, the squid is chewy, and then that snail is also chewy, but in a little bit different way. Sorry, I couldn't think of a third word. Over here, we have the chicken feet. The chicken feet are not really in foot shape. They have cut off each chicken toe. Here's the hard part. Which one is the middle finger? That's what I want to eat. There it is. The chicken from the grave telling me to go myself. If you're like with a very talented eater, they will put this in their mouth and then they'll spit out bones like a cartoon. How'd I do? Not bad. This is a very chewy street food, something meant to gnaw on, probably with a big tall beer. Let's talk about the price. Here in Myanmar, there are two different exchange rates. Kind of crazy. For example, our seafood dish in the local currency costs 18,000 kyat. Now, if you type that into Google, it'll say it's about $8.50. But there's another exchange system here. The way people exchange money here is through the black market. And the black market has way better rates than the white market. What's the other market? What's the opposite of black market? In fact, if you exchange your USD on the black market, you can get about twice as much value. That said, today, in order to be consistent, we're going to be using Google, but just keep in mind that what we're spending, it could be a lot less if we use the black market exchange. So this right here is about $8.50, and this here about $1.66. A very solid start on our journey to get to $100. Let's keep moving.
We've just arrived at our second location. Here they're making two distinctive types of pancakes, cooked in two completely different ways. One in a clay pot and one in this steel skillet. It all starts with the batter, quickly poured into this red hot steel skillet. This brown batter is a combination of rice flour and palm sugar. The palm sugar is what makes it brown. Next, the toppings follow. First, some almonds, then a few strips of coconut.
Here's the best part. Not only is this going to cook from the bottom, but it also cooks from the top. Amazing.
After a few minutes, she removes the charcoal, revealing a fully cooked pancake. She hits the top with a bit of oil and gives it a flip.
Oh, Sure, it's got some color on the back.
One final clip and we're about to try Myanmar's sweet street pancake. Here we have the final product, cradled in my hands like a fluffy stack of playing cards, and I get to touch them all. Do you want to know why? Because I just paid for this whole stack.
Ooh, it's like shuffling a deck of cards. Oh gosh, which pancake do I want today? I'm gonna go with this one. There I go.
Time to give it a shot.
Oh,
the taste is mildly sweet, but actually somewhat salty. The almond gives it a bit of a toasted flavor, and the coconut tastes especially like coconut. But for pancake 2, there's a little bit of a twist. It starts with a rice flour batter. Then she hits it with fresh coriander and some of what the locals call Indian beans. This time the batter is white because there's no palm sugar.
Time has passed, and take a look at this. The final result, it's baked and steamed at the same time. She removes it and puts it with its friend.
But she's not done yet. Finally, she tops it with a mix of crushed sesame seeds and salt.
Pancake number 2. Now these little guys are selling 4 for $1. Very affordable. This looks distinctly different from the first pancake. I feel like the first pancake was supposed to be more of a dessert experience, and this is a bit more savory. There are a lot of fun treats like this in Southeast Asia made with rice flour batter, but I've never seen a pancake of this magnitude. Let's give it a shot. It's so salty. I love the texture. It's a little bit chewy, almost doughy, in fact. Obviously, the bottom is cooked a lot more than at the top. It's almost slightly gooey, and then the complete gradient in between. Meanwhile, on top, it's like you're being hit with herbs. You're eating it, and you're like, is that coriander? But the flavor that stands out the most would definitely be those crushed sesame seeds. Now that is classic street food. On to the next one.
Spending money on street food is easy. But now, making money is easy too with Tester Up.
Tester Up is an app that pays you to test other apps and games. And you've seen me talk about it here before. You try apps, play games, answer the odd survey, and get paid for it. I know that sounds too good to be true, and skepticism is fair. So let me show you my profile. I've got the app open right here with the balance on top. Take a look. Here's how it works. Once you finish a test, the payment is sent to you within 24 hours. Some tests pay up to $80 for a single game. $80 to play a game? Most of us do that for free, like amateurs.
22 million people are on it, and they've got good reviews on Trustpilot.
Which on the internet is basically sainthood. Tester Up is free, so there's no risk in trying it. Sign up through my link in the description and you'll get a $5 bonus. And that's before you've done a single thing. Use the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen right now. Don't go hunting for it on the App Store yourself or you'll miss the bonus entirely. It's as simple as that. Now, back to the show. Oh, we have come to our next food location. Check this out. This is like a budget Korean street food cart done the Myanmar way. Let me explain. First of all, right here, they have a food that is iconic in Korea, although the shape in Korea is a little bit different than the one here. She's making one right now. Inside of this waffle iron, she puts some batter and then she fills it up. Here they have a variety of fillings. This right here is vanilla. In Korea, they're only gonna fill their fish with red bean. That's it. Why is it in the shape of a fish? No idea. But here, they're free to fill the fish with whatever they want. Let's give it a shot. Oh, I think you overfilled it a little bit. What's interesting is definitely this is an imitation of the Korean one, but it looks different. The Korean one looks like a freshwater fish. This looks like a whale. Let's give it a shot. That's legitimately delicious. Not only is this cheaper than what you get in Korea, if I'm honest, it's better. But the fun flavors don't stop there. They also have this. This is a much more local type of flavor. I'm talking about coconut. It's not a coconut cream, but some shredded coconut. Let's try some of those fish guts. Very nice. I'm impressed, but the Korean imitations don't stop there. My favorite part of this whole place is like Korea is kind of known for their ability to imitate. In the markets of Korea, you can find all kinds of knockoff Chanel and Louis Vuitton. Koreans, how does it feel now to be knocked off by someone else? Another iconic street food of Korea is the corn dog. They have elevated corn dog to their highest potential. Here, they're doing something similar. This right here, I'm told, is a cheese corn dog. And this one, they said, is chicken balls. And I didn't even know chickens had balls. Oh wait, I did. Roosters. Rooster testicles? All right, he shakes his head yes? I'm not so sure he knows what I'm saying, but let's see what happens. It's not testicles, but why was I so willing to eat it if it was? This is the type of chicken ball you would find in something like a hot pot. But instead here, they put it around batter, they fried it, and I gotta say the results, pretty good. Here, I'm told this is a cheese corn dog. It's a monster, first of all. It's huge. It weighs over a pound. I want to break it in half and we can experience the surprise together. Oh, that's a wiener. Uh-oh, I haven't been this surprised since last time I went to Bangkok. Where did the cheese go?
Inside the sausage.
In the sausage? Oh, there it is. Isn't that so much more satisfying than just seeing me eat it and you having to take my word for it? Nobody wants that. Wow. It is a thick processed cheese, but that said, that's better than a Johnsonville cheddar brat, but very different from a Korean cheese dog. That's gonna have a lot more stretchy mozzarella. So that is corn dogs done the Korean way, done the Burmese way. Let's keep moving. Right now we are in Leidan Market, and this is where Burmese people come to eat lunch. This place has, well, everything. It looks amazing. They have tons and tons of bowls, different options to choose from. In essence, this is a Burmese curry shop. You've got a huge container of rice in the back. Everything always starts with the rice. That is the foundation. But then from there, you can build on the flavors, choosing different curries, different sides, and by the end, customizing your own incredible meal. I feel like you could eat here 365 days in a row, and each day has something new to experience. That said, I'm looking for more of a walking food, so let's keep moving.
Once lunch is over, Myanmar street food doesn't slow down, it just changes shape. And the next shape I found speaks directly to my formerly obese American soul. At first I was hoping these were giant onion rings, but it turns out no. These are in fact Burmese donuts. They call it a bracelet donut because it could fit around your whole wrist. Just take a look at that hole. And that is not a statement I often say. She drops a crispy donut ring into a plastic bag. Next up, her secret weapon, palm sugar syrup, drizzled over everything. Finally, she ties the bag shut.
This is a freshly glazed donut. I can say that palm sugar, it doesn't do a great job of adhering to the actual donut. It's kind of all over the place. Cheers. It's all crunchy.
This was no ordinary donut. You see, typical donuts are made with wheat flour, and they have an even, doughy, bready consistency all the way through. But this here was made with rice flour. So on the outside, you get an extreme crunch, but on the inside, it's chewy like mochi. American donuts have nothing on this. Sure, Dunkin' might have donuts that can melt on your tongue, but that's only when they're fresh. Who even knows when this lady made these things? These could be from last week, but my mouth and my brain cannot tell the difference. They look like they were fried this morning, and still, after hours in the tropical heat, they still have a beautiful crispiness.
We have come to our next street food location. Here they're serving fun fried fritters, Myanmar style. Fritters of 5 different varieties, all made from completely different things. Let's start with the first one. It should look familiar. It's an ingredient in everyone's grocery store. That is a corn fritter. It is just simply corn batter and that's it. Let's give it a shot. That is so good.
This corn fritter is proof that deep frying almost anything will make it delicious. And that's exactly why I hesitate to buy a deep fryer for my home. It wouldn't be long until I was deep frying everything.
So this currently is unseasoned, so all the flavor is coming from the corn. This isn't like Minnesota sweet corn. Around the world, there's another type of corn. A corn that's more rubbery and I would say starchy. But that said, this still tastes delicious. And crunchy too. So this is fried food 105. Let's check out the other ones.
Here we're about to get a behind the curtain look at one of her recipes. This is the onion fritter. In a bowl, the onion is mixed with batter, and in her hand is the ultimate tool, a jagged piece of steel. This is the perfect hand spatula that the chef made herself. Our chef shapes that onion batter mixture on that thin metal plate, plunges it into one clump, then is dropped into hot oil, and she quickly moves on to the next one. While this fries up, I'm gonna try some of her other offerings over here. A darker fritter made from beans and batter.
Yeah, red beans. Incredibly oily. Interesting.
Kind of like seasoned fried green beans on the inside. Meanwhile, the outside is slightly crispy.
That is a fried food like I've never had before. I have mixed feelings. Right next to the beans, we have another bean. This is made with what the locals call Indian beans. Wow, to me that looks kind of like falafel. Kind of it is.
It's seasoned, but honestly, it's somewhat bland, just like a falafel. At At last, after a cool 7 minutes, the chef rotates the onion fritters. In a couple more minutes, they're ready. After frying, they're placed in a big wicker basket to drain out the oil. You can see the oil collecting beneath, and trust me, that oil will not be wasted. It will be given new life.
If it's time to try one of these onion fritters, come take a look. It kind of looks like a miniature bloomin' onion, which I am a big fan of. A moment ago, I tried her bean fritters. I thought they were okay, but honestly, they were missing one crucial component. This right here. This is a sauce, a combination of tamarind, palm sugar, and some chilies in there too for heat. First, I want to try with just the onion alone. That's really nice.
It is better than an onion ring. In a big onion ring, the onion inside gets soft and too moist. Here she's using shredded onion, so it's soft inside, moist but not wet. More surface area needs more crunch. But now, it's time to add the sauce.
Bingo. Sweet, tart, and spicy tamarind sauce. It pairs perfectly with that heavy oil. That is delicious. Right here we just come to another snack stall. And by stall, I mean a bunch of stools with bowls full of delicious food on top. Right here, there's a coconut cream dish. This is kind of a banana bread or a cake. This is a coconut cake. Right here we have a rice flour batter with bean on the inside. But what I really want to show you is this right here. This looks like little leathery rolls. And in fact, it is a type of fruit leather. This is essentially Burmese fruit by the foot. This is made from boiled and dehydrated mango. I've never seen something like this before. If you love watching cooking shows, eventually you're going to see some snooty culinary PhD mastermind make a fruit leather, or you can just come to the streets of Yangon. Let's give it a shot. It's so good. It really tastes like a classy, non-toxic organic version of fruit by the foot. It also, of course, tastes like dehydrated or dried mango. It's so satisfying. It's sugary, it's chewy. This is a great find.
Moments ago, we saw Myanmar's take on Korean food.
That's legitimately delicious.
Well, now it's India's turn. This here is a samosa salad, and it's nothing like you'll find in India. You see, in Myanmar, you can't just eat something. You have to turn it into a salad.
Let's start by talking about the ingredients. Right here we have a pile of already fried samosa. Here, tons of seasoning. And then right here we have a steamy lentil soup. That's gonna go on top. We'll come back for that.
Time to bring it all together.
It all starts with a stainless steel plate dipped in some water. The plate comes over here, ready for assembly.
First, my man goes down and grabs some cabbage, tossing it on the plate. Then yellow peas go on top. Next, he scissors some potatoes that have been boiled in turmeric. The best part is that customers can sit right here, eat, and watch the food making action all at the same time.
He takes a break to serve another customer. I wait patiently. I mean, impatiently.
And we're back. A chickpea fritter gets the scissor treatment and lands on the plate. Finally, the star of the show, the samosa. Then he scissors some cilantro onto the plate. Now comes the flavor. Sweet tamarind sauce, salt, more salt, MSG, some Myanmar masala, and chili powder. Then the final crucial step, the lentil soup gets a stir and it's poured straight over the top.
Right here we have our next meal coming in at $1.20. Very affordable, and I'm starting to feel like at this point we may not make it all the way to $100, but maybe at least $90, $80, somewhere in that range. Very confident. It's always interesting to see how some countries do other countries' food. We are a good ways away from India. Yes, Myanmar and India, they share a border, but it's not that close to where I am right now. So this is Burmese Indian food. It has elements that feel familiar, but it's something I've never seen before. Now, usually you're going to be eating a big old crunchy samosa. Here, he's cut it into little bitty bits. Right here is the samosa. This is what I'm used to. Let's give it a shot. Flaky, greasy, decent. But that right there is just our base. So what happens when you cut up a samosa into little bitty pieces and mix it with all these other ingredients? Let's find out. I'm so fascinated right now. The coriander comes through immediately. Very fresh. Tons of spices. The lentil soup tastes lentily. And beyond that, it's all just very, very heavy. What's fun is when I look at this guy, I think, that guy's not from India. That's for sure. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have a little bit of India in his heart. On to the next food. At our next location, they're serving soup and salad, but it's a different soup and salad than you would find at your local diner. And that's because there is one protein option, and those are beef offals. The intestines, the guts, the insides of a cow. They can either go in the soup or on a salad. The choice is yours. I've made my way into the kitchen. Now, on this side, this lady is making salads. And this gentleman, he's making soup. Let's take a look at some of these ingredients. Right here, they have all of their beef parts that have already been braised. And then here we have the broth full of beef balls. No, not that kind of a beef ball.
Our bowl starts with some cut up beef stomach. Next, a bit of intestine goes in. Then, even more stomach. That's a lot of stomach to stomach. From the broth, he pulls out what I'm told is cow skin, looking grisly and unrefined. Meanwhile, that broth is steaming and ready. Next, he grabs another piece of intestine and cuts it down with the meat scissors. He drops in 2 beef balls. On the side, he adds some bok choy for greenery. Or maybe this came from the cow's intestines. No one knows for sure. Then a giant long radish gets cut straight into the bowl. A little coriander goes on top, then some seasoning. Finally, he gives the broth a big swirl and pours it over everything. And that is how you make Burmese beef gut soup.
It suddenly got very dark and everyone's running. Is it gonna rain? Oh, that's not good. Everyone's panicking. Everyone's fleeing. Everyone is preparing for harsh weather. Chaos in the streets. That umbrella has seen better days. What do we do?
I don't know.
Wow, it just got way darker. Oh. The beef man is asking this restaurant if we can eat inside. Thank you. I think I'm inside a Chinese bar. I just bought this beer from them because they're letting us use their table. Everything a second ago just broke out in chaos. That said, I have the best of both worlds. Street food inside with a beer. Cheers. Burmese Heineken. I like it.
I don't know what it is about these strange beef cuts when you come to Southeast Asia, but folks here love them. It's something about the textures inside the bowl. Every bite has its own unique feeling. The flavors are all somewhat similar, swimming in a nice beefy broth with all these random meat cuts swimming inside. Time to give it a taste.
That right there is a hangover cure. I love it. That is definitely a little bit of intestine. This is the real test. It literally has the word test in the word. Intestine. This is to find out whether this is a super gamey mess or something that's got some game. It's got game. It's soft, it's squishy, but like every time you bite down on it, nothing happens. It just returns to its original form and eventually you get bored and just swallow it.
Here, they've got big sections of stomach.
A very similar experience.
Everything is super savory and beefy with just a smattering of MSG on top.
At last, just like a bowl, my bowl has 2 balls. Beef balls. Look at that squishy little beef ball. You know, we started the day earlier with a chicken ball, and now we've graduated to beef. Although, you know, what if it really was a beef ball? It's a bit on the small side. Oh, it's very nice. Seasoned and delicious. Oh, it's pouring outside now. We nailed that timing.
What I like about this soup is that it feels like a real meal. Today we had a lot of snacks, a lot of rich food, and a lot of fried food. But this is something that warms my heart and warms my stomach at the same time.
Now the goal today was to spend over $100, and I hate to ruin the surprise, but I don't think we made it there. I'll tell you soon how much we actually spent, but first I want to talk about the food costs in Myanmar.
Since the situation that took place here, specifically the military taking over the government, things have not been going well for the local people, especially when it comes to food prices. Even though what you saw today might seem cheap to you and me, food prices in this country have gone up by 20 to 30%. That's largely because trade has become harder, sometimes because of what's happening inside Myanmar, and sometimes because of pressure at the borders with countries like Thailand and China. And as always, who suffers the most? Poor folks. Folks with the least amount of resources. The people who already have the least amount of money to buy food. It sucks, but that's the reality on the ground in Myanmar right now. That said, have food prices surged enough to get us over $100? Well, no. After everything we ate today, we spent this much. Kind of remarkable, huh? Compared to what I'm used to spending across Southeast Asia, Myanmar wasn't just inexpensive, it was shockingly cheap. But today wasn't only about the money, it was also about the flavors. And if I had to choose my favorite food of the day, it would be that bracelet donut. Chewy, crunchy, delicious. I'll remember you forever. In this video, I'm taking on every noodle here in Myanmar's biggest city. Asia is famous for its noodles, from ramen in Japan to pho in Vietnam.
Oh my god.
မင်္ဂလာပါဒီတစ်ခါမှလည်း More Best Ever Food Review Show Channel ကတင်ဆက်ထားတဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံခီး မြန်မာအစားအသောက်ကြောင်းဗီဒီယိုကိုဘာသာပြန်တင်ဆက်ပေးမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီဗီဒီယိုထဲမှာတော့မြန်မာအကောင်းဆုံးခောက်ဆွဲဟင်းလျာ5မျိုးကိုရွေးချယ်စားသောက်သွားတာမြင်တွေ့ရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်မြန်မာအကောင်းဆုံးခောက်ဆွဲတွေဆိုတာဘာတွေဖြစ်မလဲသူအကြိုက်ဆုံးကဘာတွေဖြစ်မလဲဆိုတာအဆုံးထိလိုက်ပါကြည့်ရှုလိုက်ပါဦးခင်ဗျာဒီဗီဒီယိုကြိုက်နေတဲ့ဆိုရင်သူ့ channel ကိုလည်းတွားရောက်အားပေးပြီးတော့ subscribe လုပ်ပေးကြပါအောင်လို့တိုက်တွန်းပါတယ် channel မျိုးဗီဒီယိုပေါ်မှာစရန်ထိုးထားသလို decoration မှာလည်း link ထည့်ထားပါတယ်ဗီဒီယိုကိုအဆုံးထိကြည့်ရှုပေးပါအောင်ခင်ဗျာ
Then there's Myanmar, with a food culture that gets completely overlooked, including a world of noodles. Thick noodles, thin noodles, dishes influenced by India, China, and Southeast Asia, all colliding in one place. Today we're taking on 5 of this country's famous bowls. Their thickest noodles, their richest noodles, and their regional noodles. But it all starts with Myanmar's most famous noodle, mohinga. This bowl is more than just famous. It's Myanmar's national dish, a local go-to breakfast that's served all day. It's made with thin rice noodles, banana stem, and a rich catfish broth. Catfish for breakfast? I can't wait.
Once we see how this dish comes together, I want to show you its individual components, starting with the most important part, the broth. Now, this is a broth that is full of action, full of flavors, and if you look closely, it's even full of eggs.
But what sets this broth apart from anything else are the banana stems. It adds a unique layer of texture that we'll be tasting soon. But first, we need to meet our noodle.
Right here, you're looking at a thin rice vermicelli noodle. That is going to be perfect for this soup, and it's going to soak up that delicious broth. Let's see how it comes together. Ready? Action. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Step 1, she takes a steel bowl. She grabs a clump of noodles and puts it inside. From here, she grabs a fish cake, a fried fish cake, and she scissors it into the bowl. Then she grabs a fried crunchy peanut fritter and absolutely destroys it. Now we're heading over yonder. She grabs a spoon and puts that inside.
From here, it's time for their complex broth loaded with fish, egg, and banana stems.
Finally, we move over here to the cilantro. Then she puts in some fried shallots and garlic as well.
Finally, she spoons up some chilies and adds it to the bowl.
And that is how you make this country's national dish, mohinga. Fish broth for breakfast? Yes, please. This is the most famous food in all the land when it comes to Myanmar. We've got bright green coriander. We have an egg that's been simmering in that broth, and then, cleverly, she takes a spoon and she puts chili flakes on the spoon. So you can decide for yourself how much chili you want to mix into the dish. But before we try this, I want to talk about what's inside this bowl. This is full of different fried fritters. When you order the soup, you can order any of these to go inside of that broth. Usually people choose one, and here's what there is to choose from. This right here is an onion fritter. We saw this in our last street food video. Some of these are made with beans, and they resemble falafel, and the one I'm eating today, in fact, does not have peanut, but it contains beans. Let's give it a shot. Super fried, crazy greasy, super crispy. But once you put that into there, it's going to be a completely different experience. I don't think this can withstand that broth. I think it's going to become incredibly soggy. So why do people do it? Let's find out. Still a little bit of crunch. Very nice. Now I'm going to attempt to mix these elements together. We'll get to the noodles soon, but first, the banana stem. Now, if you look closely, it's like you can see these big plant cell chambers. Chambers that get completely soaked with broth. Try it out. I love it. Crunch is almost like eating celery, but the taste is completely different. It's not dense because it has those big cellular chambers, so it has more of a squishy crunch to it. It's so delightful, and it's an ingredient that you don't really see used in anything. Meanwhile, we have the broth to talk about. Wow. So this is a broth that's been made more thick with toasted rice. Try it out. It tastes like fish, but it's not fishy. It's so full of flavor. A great way to spice up your morning, too. Here's the best part. You get a little messy. Over here, they have some toilet paper. I know what you're thinking. No, that's a tissue, Sonny. Sure about that? Sure about that that's not toilet paper? You sure about that? And people online call me an ass face anyway, so what's the difference? Let's mix her up a little bit. I want to unearth some of those noodles. Now, damn, I'm impressed. This right here is the perfect ambassador for Myanmar. There's a lot of pressure on a national dish to hold a whole country on its shoulders, and this pulls it off. But from here, we're going to be trying 4 other noodles that may not be able to contend with this. Let's head to our second location now. After trying Myanmar's most loved noodle, we are moving on to Myanmar's thickest noodle.
Meet Namgi Tok, a dish that represents how Myanmar food mixes many cultures. Rice noodles from Chinese influence, curry and spices from Indian influence, and all of it resulting in Burmese flavors that are rich but still mild and balanced. At least that's what it says on the menu.
The name basically means thick noodle mix. Let's go inside and take a look.
But what makes this dish really stand out are these udon-like noodles.
You can see what I mean when I say it's kind of udon-like, but actually this is even thicker than udon. This is one of the thickest rice noodles I've ever seen in my life. It is big, it's sticky, and it's perfect for the dish that we're about to make next. Ricey, starchy, slightly sour, needs a little bit of flavor. Let's get to it. It all starts with this thick rice noodle. A noodle that's going onto a plate because today we're having a dry noodle. Then bean sprouts go on next, followed by fish balls. Next we go over here as she puts in some fish sauce. Over here she's reaching for some chickpea powder, then some chicken curry, but mostly the chicken and not so much of the curry. Oh, here comes the curry. From here we have some tamarind, then a lethal dose of chili oil, a double dose. Over here she grabs some fried noodles for a little bit of crunch on top, then she hits it with coriander, and that is how you make nanji tok. Thank you. All right. Right here, the second noodle of the day, and I could not be more excited because I am always a big fan of a dry noodle. Something you'll see all around Asia when you get a dry noodle is a little sidecar. They want you to go in dry, but not too dry. Right here, we got some emergency liquid. I didn't say lubrication. Before I dive into this, I want to talk about what the owner just told me. She said with pride that she does not include MSG in her food. If you listen to stories in the USA, the lore is that MSG was vilified by racist white people, which is one take. But then you go to Asia and then you hear from actual Asians that they also think too much MSG is bad for you. That's exactly why she doesn't include it in her recipe here. So we have the noodle, we have our broth, we have some raw onions on the side, and then here we have some interesting condiments. First of all, chili flakes, if you want a little bit more kick. And then right here we have a dried chickpea powder. Chickpeas, it's not my favorite foods. They make me gassy. But chickpea powder, what about that? Let's find out. Do people eat this through their nose or their mouth? What is the point? It's not a bad flavor. It's a little starchy. It's mainly a mild flavor. There's not a lot to it. Let's see how it tastes when it's mixed with all these other ingredients. Let's go for it. That chickpea flour, it adds a thick layer of starchiness. It kind of just thickens all the flavors up, and I think it makes them adhere more to the noodles. The main flavor I'm getting immediately is that chili oil. This is very spicy. Meanwhile, you've got this right here, a chicken stock on the side. Now that is full of MSG. No, just kidding. Here we have the souls of several dozen chickens that have been boiled and then strained out. And what's left is this amazing umami liquid. Let's try one more bite. Chicken, balls, cilantro. On top of it, some raw onion. Let's go for it. This is a fascinating noodle experience, and it's all because of that chickpea powder. Usually a dry noodle is going to be more slippery and wet and oily, but here, everything's more clingy, which I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of. So this is Myanmar's thickest noodle. Now, on to the next one.
Next up, we're trying Myanmar's richest noodles. Meet Ono Khao Soi. The name and the golden coconut broth might remind you of another famous dish from northern Thailand. That dish is called khao soi.
Khao soi is a rich, creamy coconut noodle that I tried when we did our noodle tour in Thailand. Absolutely delicious. In fact, it's one of my favorite noodles in all of Thailand. So let's see how this one stacks up to that.
There are two key elements that make up this dish. First, the noodles.
This is the noodle we're here for today.
Unlike khao soi, where they combine chewy egg noodles and crispy fried noodles to create more texture, here they use thick wheat noodles. These noodles are less about crunch and more about body. They sit underneath the broth, soaking up all that creamy coconut richness. But the second thing that makes this dish is the broth.
First of all, did they say I could touch this? They did, because I asked. Second of all, I'm gonna give it a bit of a swish, and you can see those rich colors.
Here they start cooking it early in the morning, then let it simmer for hours. So coconut milk soaks into everything hiding inside. Chicken, chicken feet, duck blood, duck eggs, anything is possible. But here's the catch. None of these come standard with your bowl. Oh no, these are all add-ons. And it's first come, first serve. So let's see what's left in the pot and how they put this dish together.
It all starts with wheat noodles going into a bowl. From there, we get some shredded onion, and we're heading over to the broth. She gives the broth a little bit of a mix, then she pours it inside. We've got chicken bones, we've got meat, and even more broth. Now an egg as well, and she's digging around for some goodies because we've asked for some upgrade with the noodle. So with each scoop, there's a little bit of a surprise. Wait, is that feet? Oh, okay. So she's added chicken feet. From here, she's taking a scissors to the chicken feet, cutting them into smaller pieces. Then we both look, wondering if we're done. Are we? Finished. And that is how you make oh no khao sui. So at first I was excited about this because I thought it was part of a drumstick, and it is part of a drumstick. Just the way end part that still has a foot attached to it is not a drumstick. So that is essentially chicken ankle. Then if you come back, we have this chicken, I don't know, like the palm of its foot. Oh, there's some chicken meat. Now this one at first I thought was an egg. That threw me off. That's not an egg. That is just a giant onion ball. This right here, that's an egg. But even though the feet are chicken, the egg is from a duck. Now, this looks dramatically different from anything we tried so far today, but the big comparison I have for this one is khao soi, and so far, there's nothing really khao soi about it except for that coconut broth. This is the element that makes it the richest noodle in all of Myanmar. That's very nice. It's a little bit sweet, very rich. There's some curry flavor, and then the coconut, but the coconut is certainly not overbearing. It's balanced with everything else. Now, before I get to those noodles, I have to debone my soup. Let's start with this. Right here we have a chicken ankle, perhaps the most prized part of the chicken, if you ask me. Yeah, boy. Also, is that a toe? Is that a third toe? A fourth toe? What's going on there? Let's start with that. Fourth toe. So they've braced it just enough where the skin is starting to fall off the bone. That said, it's taken on the flavor of the coconut. It is quite delicious. I'm telling you, next time you order a bowl of noodles, go bone in. Soaking meat off the toes. It's like watching an owl ant. In Asia, if you have a foot fetish, it means something completely different. Now from here, I'm going to gently put the bones to the side and eat those later. So right here, I have a delicious scoop of noodles. You can see they're absolutely soaking up that broth. Let's toss it back. It's a pretty good noodle. If I had to choose my actual favorite noodle type, it'd probably be an egg noodle. The egg noodle, it has more protein and it has more bound. So something like khao soi is a very fun, chewy experience. So how does this actually compare to khao soi? I would say it's pretty different. Really, the only thing that's similar is the coconut base that they're using for the broth. But even that tastes pretty different. Here it's very, very chickeny. That said, this is just noodle 3 and we have 2 more to go. Let's keep moving.
From Myanmar's richest noodle, we're moving to this country's most regional noodle. This is the Shan noodle, from Myanmar's largest ethnic minority, the Shan people. The Shan make up about 1/10 of Myanmar's population, with estimates around 4 to 6 million people. Their food reflects their location near the border of China, Laos, and Thailand. So how is it made? Let's go inside and find out. Shan noodles can be served 2 ways, in a light chicken broth or dry and mixed, also known as a noodle salad in these parts. Today I'm going with the salad version.
Everything starts with the actual noodle, which is residing in water in this bucket. This is a thin rice noodle that she's putting into a basket. Once she's gotten an adequate amount of noodles, she comes over here and she puts them into hot water. While the noodles are boiling, she gets a bowl here where she adds in some special sauce. Then she puts in some crushed peanuts, some crushed sesame seeds, and we come back waiting for the noodles. The timing here is very important. Oh my God, I almost dropped my phone in there. She swishes the noodles about, testing the texture. She feels happy about the texture of the noodles, and she gives them a swish in that sauce. She grabs a bowl, and our noodles descend into that. But we're not done. Are we done? From here, we have pork that goes on top, and even more pork. Here we have garlic. This is Chinese cabbage and spring onions. I think we have a completed dish, and that is how you make Myanmar's Shan noodle. Right here, you can see I have nothing. And that is because when eating this noodle, it's very important I have it hot and fresh. Otherwise, it's going to become one big solid clump of noodles. Let me show you. Here's the one we just had. We took tons of video of it, and look, not exactly what I'm looking for. So we're making fresh one right now. I'm about to eat it quick. In the meantime, I want to show you this right here. This is Shan tofu, a regional favorite. I don't even love tofu that much, but I love that taste. It has a nice thin, punchy exterior, and it hardly tastes like tofu at all. At last, our noodle has arrived. Every strand of noodle is thoroughly coated in that sauce and those nuts in these nuts. Let's give it a shot. Oh wow, what a flavor. What's interesting is that the internet said this is the country's lightest noodle. I'm eating it and it doesn't feel that way. A lot of the components that went into this are pretty dang heavy. It's super warm, steamy, and a little bit slimy. You can eat this as a soup, but I like that in Myanmar, they call this having it as a salad. And as a salad, it works. The noodles are very elastic, they're stretchy, and since it's a rice noodle, it perfectly gets coated and saturated with all that flavor.
But beyond the noodles, there's a chili sauce the owner claims is the spiciest thing I'll ever eat. Time to put that to the test.
Cheers. Like a chili crisp. It's very oily, super heavy, and it's just coating my throat. But is it the spiciest thing I've ever had?
Put it on your teeth.
It is like instant heartburn.
It's burning in my mouth.
I don't want this anymore. No. But if the spice does get to you, and it's definitely not getting to me. Then you can always go to this right here. This broth is made from a chicken stock. Now I get it. Some people say this is Myanmar's lightest noodles, and that's because this is a clean, delicious broth. I love it.
Finally, we're moving on to Myanmar's most unlikely noodle, Kya Zan Hinga. Not made from wheat flour, not made from rice flour, but something else entirely.
This is a giant brick of glass noodle.
These noodles are made from mung bean starch, giving them that slippery, glassy texture that can sit in a hot broth for hours without turning soggy.
So from here, I'm going to take a look at the broth. The noodle's already inside. Let's take a look at that now. Oh, she left already. I think she's going without me.
Unlike the other noodles today, which were quickly blanched in a hot broth for a few seconds, these guys are simmered in a boiling broth together with all these other ingredients. Wood ear mushrooms, tofu skin, dried shrimp, herbs, and whatever else the kitchen throws into the pot.
Now, if you look closely, you can see right here, those are the actual glass noodles in between all the other chunky ingredients.
They soak up all that flavor while somehow staying chewy, slick, and almost impossible to destroy. After placing an order, the chef simply scoops up a few ladles of soup into the bowl, then tops it with chili oil, a protein of your choice, and exactly one single quail egg. They also serve it with diced onions and cilantro on the side. And that's how you make Kya Zan Hinga. Let's give it a shot.
Boom, here it is, Noodle 5, the final noodle of the day, and what an adventure it's been. Let's talk about it. If you take a close look, there are two things going on in here. First is this black part. I was told that's black fungus. What it is actually is wood ear mushroom. You'll find that in tons of Vietnamese foods as well. Aside from the mushroom, we have tofu skin, but the best part, of course, is the noodle. Deep inside, kind of wrapped around everything. You can see that glass noodle. Before we get to that, you have to try the broth. A broth that takes hours and hours. Wait, no, just 2 hours. 2 hours to make. Go for it. That's nice. Now, earlier, we went to a restaurant that took pride in not using MSG. Here, it's the opposite. Here, they take pride in using MSG, and it really comes through in the broth, and let me tell you, it's delicious. With a soup like this, there is no such thing as just having a noodle bite. It's always going to be everything together. Let's go for it. Very satisfying. I love it. The wood ear mushroom is a little bit more snappy. It's got a bit of a crunch to it, where the tofu has a little bit softer texture. Meanwhile, the glass noodles really just tie everything together. They are the social lubricant. This is like the perfect drunk noodle. If you drank 12 beers, you're on your way home, it's 10 p.m., you're being driven by someone, stop here, eat some salty MSG, and feel great the next day if you ever make it home. So that is noodle 5 out of 5, and this is certainly our most unusual noodle of the day, but is it the best? Today I tried a lot of noodles that don't resemble anything I've seen anywhere else in Southeast Asia. When it comes to Burmese cuisine, they definitely have their own food culture and their own noodle culture too. But if I had to pick one that was my absolute favorite, it may be predictable, but it was mohinga, the national dish, and it is the national dish for a reason. It was deeply savory and satisfying. That catfish broth, it catfished me, like my wife on Tinder. But that is just my opinion. Guys, let me know what you think. Which of these 5 noodles from today do you wish you could try? Let me know downstairs in the comments down below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. This is the Peas. Bye.